Ever feel like you're just in a mood? I hear this all the time from clients, and honestly, I can relate. When we're experiencing a low mood state, it can feel like our emotions control us. They're in the driver's seat, dictating what we do or don't do, how we act, what we say, and how we engage with others. In this video, I'll be going over the number one skill to help you work through these low mood states with greater ease. It's a skill called Name It to Tame It, and it can help you with emotion regulation. In acceptance and commitment therapy, you learn to become an interested and curious observer of your mood states, rather than judging them as good or bad. This can help get you back in the driver's seat, rather than having your emotions sit there. In order to get there, it's important to have a language to describe those mood states. In Mark Brackett's book, Permission to Feel, he describes what's called a mood meter. It's a great tool to use to get familiar with your mood and body states. The mood meter is divided into 4 quadrants based on 2 factors: energy level and pleasantness. So you have high energy, high pleasantness, like excitement, joy, passion, and low energy, high pleasantness, like calm, content, reflective. And then you have high energy, low pleasantness, think rage, anxiety, shock, and low energy, low pleasantness, depression, disappointment, fatigue. If you don't already have the language for your current emotional state, it can be helpful to start here. Just start by describing your energy levels. Start by describing your pleasantness levels. This can help you decode what your true emotion is. Maybe it's more than one. When you're able to identify that emotion and even where that emotion lives in your body, it can start the process of regulating that emotion and working through it, right? Now you've named it, you've identified it, and put a label to it. So you're not ignoring it, you're not suppressing it, you're not distracting yourself from that emotion. But you've identified it, and now you can start making space for it. So that might sound like this: taking some slow, deep breaths to try to cushion around any body part that might be holding on to tension, anxiety, or stress. It might sound like taking a pause to reflect. What about the situation is in my control? What can I do here? What can I focus on that would be most helpful? And how can I open up to and make space for this discomfort? So step 1 in emotion regulation is name it to tame it. This is especially helpful for those unpleasantly balanced emotions, like the different flavors of sadness, shame, anger, and anxiety that we experience. Studies show that of the around 2,000 emotion words in the English language, 50% are negative, 30% are positive, and 20% are neutral. One possible explanation for this is that our brains actually process positive and negative emotions very differently. We process positive emotions very quickly and very superficially. Basically, we don't spend a lot of time analyzing why we feel good when we feel good. Conversely, we process negative emotions more slowly. Those ones tend to stick with us for a little bit longer. So we have language to match the depth at which we experience these negative mood states. And this skill, Name It to Tame It, can help us understand, process, and regulate those mood states with greater ease. There have been several scientific studies supporting this theory. One study done at UCLA by Matthew Lieberman and his colleagues placed individuals with arachnophobia, or a fear of spiders, in a room with a caged spider. He then asked half the group to describe emotionally what they were feeling during this exposure, and the other half to describe what was happening, just state the facts using emotion-neutral words. Individuals that used more emotion words to describe what they were feeling during the exposure took more steps closer to the cage than individuals who used emotion-neutral words. Greater usage of the words anxiety and fear were actually associated with reductions in those feelings. Now, when Lieberman and his colleagues asked participants if they thought this would be an effective strategy, labeling the emotion before going into the exposure, most people said, no, this is not going to work. And they were wrong. This is what Lieberman calls incidental emotion regulation, because participants were not aware that by labeling and identifying their emotion had actually started the process of reducing the intensity of the unpleasantness. Emotion labeling can also help build emotion granularity, which, as defined by Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett, is the adaptive value of putting feelings into words with a high degree of complexity. When you're able to differentiate between various shades of a feeling, like irritation, frustration, anger, rage, you're more likely to choose an effective and healthy response to that emotion, putting you back in the driver's seat so your emotion is not driving or dictating your actions. In Dr. Barrett's experiment, she found that individuals who were high on emotion granularity were able to find positive meaning in negative experiences and less likely to abuse alcohol when under stress. In contrast, individuals low in emotion granularity, whom she calls clumpers, were more likely to be psychologically and physically ill. So there you have it. You can improve your mood regulation skills today with this simple technique, name it to tame it. If you're looking for more tools on how to better manage and respond to your emotions, I have an emotion regulation toolkit, and I'll list the link for that in the description box below. Emotion regulation is important in all aspects of life, from maintaining friendships to romantic relationships to parenting to performing in the workplace. Therapy is also a great space to improve your emotion regulation skills. If you're not sure about where to get started searching for a provider, I have a video that goes over 6 steps to finding the right provider for you. And if you're interested in working with me, feel free to reach out. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you found value from it.